Good morning everyone, welcome to episode 8. Got Diego, me and David. So I'm going first, then David and Diego. I'm going to get my bike out, set it up, put the batteries in it, do a final check, and then put something on here because it's freezing this morning. I'm at catch. I didn't crash. Got a good launch. Made it down the track. My Garmin actually worked. And it recorded all the data, which is cool. So I'll just keep doing that for the rest of the week, putting it in the back of a bike. It must be good enough to get a signal through the carbon, or just enough of a signal through the gap in the fairing. So I'll just keep running that so I can record data and get those KOMs on the 200 meter section and the half mile section and the full course section. And yeah, I ran out of gears. So I don't know what happened there. Well, I had one gear left, but yeah, I'm gonna have to up the gear ratio. That is very windy.
Don't see your bike.
Pill bugs in timing at the moment. They're coming up to the checkered flags. Yeah, bridge, maybe.
Cars already.
You weren't within the 200 when I went through, Dave?
No, I made my draw as well.
Yeah, good.
It was hard for me to judge.
This one's pretty good too.
Coming to catch. Got car coming your way.
You hear that?
I'm on my way to the Civic Centre. Get there early for our morning meeting, but I'm going to have another look in this fireworks shop. I didn't get a good enough look yesterday.
I got my radio coming.
Yeah.
$20.
General things, it's working?
Good.
Yeah. In general, things are going okay. I'd say we could still be quicker about being ready and getting the bikes loaded, especially the bikes that are a bit more complicated, like some of the faster or newer bikes and the tandem, which we're all very excited to see, but it was 7 minutes from the time that you were able to launch to the time you did launch, and that's too long. So whatever we need to do to work on that, let's work on that. Otherwise, a pair of shoes was left at the 2.5. The price is 1 bottle of Coke.
Oh, price, how
What size?
So the wind guys were laughing at us today because the wind gods were laughing at us today because the winds were quite high at the beginning of the morning, and then they gradually got better, which is the opposite of the usual pattern. So we'll see what happens tomorrow, but we can't predict that right now. So in the first heat, we had Adam in Millennium coming down the course at 49.65 miles an hour. That's not overwind.
What was the wind reading?
740.
Okay.
Nowhere near mine.
And then David, also coming down the course, he did 49.55, but that's KPA, so that's 30.779 miles an hour, and his wind was 875.
Oh, wow.
Leaning left. Leaning right. That is centered. Ready to go? On your call. Good. Good. Yeah. Hang on. Start copies. And get on this side, you're gonna look in the tab. And shove that in. Hands in. Need to push this way here. There you go. You flip. You hold this.
So I've qualified for the 5-mile run. I'm going to run tonight. I've got 2 sessions, 8:15 I think and 8:45. I've put my name in both just so that I can predict what the wind's doing. And I'm going to see if I can sort out these gears, because I think I'm going to run out of gears. Just looking through my stuff, I do have green retaining compound, but it's probably better off that I used for blue, because those bearings were very loose. I tested the mask back at home, and it felt like it was good. It felt like I could breathe enough through it, but out there in the field, when I was riding, it wasn't enough airflow, and there's probably enough airflow, but it was too hard to breathe in with this wadding in the bottom. So I think I'll give it the old Spanish Archer, the big elbow, and get rid of it and just leave that hole open, because I did feel a lot of air coming through that front wheel opening, and if that hole in the back is open, the wheel spinning should suck the excess air out, and I think I'll have enough. I don't think I'll go high carbon dioxide count on the inside there, so we'll see how it goes like that, because is a lot easier than breathing through a mask when you're restricted. So what I had to do at the start line is sort of just pull it down and have it like wedged, so I was like pushing it off with my cheeks so I could get a good breathe. But yeah, that's not efficient, and it was distracting me from actually riding, so it's gone. Just did a calculation on the gear ratios. It is correct. I was doing 60 RPM. The gear ratios are fine. 5th gear will get me to 114 kilometers an hour at 90 RPM, which is a little bit quick in a streamliner, but I'll work up to it. So I can switch into 4th and then grind it down, and then 5th and grind it down. 114, so let's see if I can get to 114 tonight. That'd be good. That's 70 mile an hour. Whew. But right now, I'm going to change the ratio on 1st to 2nd, because 1st is like 34 teeth, and 2nd is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So there's a 10 tooth step between those, and it's a little bit much. And then the next one, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So I'll do the difference between 19 and 34 and I'll go halfway. Unless that's, no, that's not 24. Yeah, so I'll calculate that and then I'll put the correct sprocket in because I got heaps of spares, and then that's my emergency world record chainring if I'm going too slow still with these gear ratios. I'll put this on and that's a 2-to-1, not a 1.875, because I got a 30 to a 16 as a secondary, and this is a 2-to-1, this is a 32 to 16. That's a 2-to-1 ratio. I've got the intermediate gear assembly out. What you do without having to take the servo motor rails off, you just wind them back, undo the bolts, and then slide the gears forward, so that way these stay in alignment and it doesn't go out. Just when I'm putting it back together, to be very careful to slot it in and not bump one of them. But that means I can take a whole gear assembly out and it looks like this. So this bit moves and then that rotates on those two keyways, and so far it doesn't look like there's any wear, especially under the load I was putting it under. I might wipe this down a bit and then re-grease it, or oil it with lube it with oil I mean. But this is just press fit and that pops off. Now I've got a retaining washer there and then just a normal cassette, and then this spins so this assembly can spin and that stays still as the gears are moving. So I've got a bearing mounted into that and then a few cassette spacers pressed into that. Turns out this bearing, which is a 6709 RS, has the internal diameter of the external diameter of the spacers, so you can just press fit it in with a bit of retaining compound, and it can pull up and down without just popping out, and then it can just spin like that. That was a fluke. I didn't know that, but when I was playing around with bearings, that's what I found out. And for anyone who's wondering, like Russ, I guess Russ might be the most interested in this, how does it work? Well, we've got a brass fitting or some type of low density fitting there, and then the keyway, and that is high tensile steel, so it's harder, so this is going to wear quicker, but it also lubricates as it wears. It's just a normal cassette that is literally machined out. So I've got the type of cassette that doesn't ratchet on the inside. It's got a ratcheting mechanism about here on the outside, and then bearings press fit into it on either end. So I've just put it in a lathe and machined it out and then flushed it off on the end here, and then just had it press fit, like fully, like cool this down, heat that up, lots of retaining compound, and just press fit it on. So it's literally only friction fit on there. If it were to ever start to slip, all I have to do is drill a hole straight down the middle and put a few pins in, and then smooth them flush so the gears can still slide on. Now all I have to do is put it back together how I pulled it apart, and this looks like a much more friendly streamliner gear ratio. A little bit of a jump, a little bit more of a jump, not much of a jump, pretty much a zero jump at the end when you're sprinting, and you want that just that little bit extra. Just about to head out to the afternoon session. Before I go, I better do this. And tell you thanks for watching, because I don't want another repeat of yesterday where I end up not doing that because it's too late. Bye. Wind is still 3 times legal limit. This is a second heat I've scratched. We've got Ellen at the back. and 2 Toronto teams there.
Ja, 5 meter doen we toch niet aan. Wat ga je doen? Go!
Yes.
Yeah, that's how it should be done.
I've scratched for second heat. Ellen was the only one to run, but she is pro, so it doesn't matter. And the wind is dying down, so it's better. I'm probably not going to crash, but we'll see. See you in a little bit.
Catch you on that travel way. Wait, stop. That's good. Ceiling fan. Is that on? Good. Good. Tap on the front. 8 inch? Yep. Good. He's spid locking and we're taping.
Okay, so the evening started fairly windy, which resulted in the first heat being scratched. The second heat, the first 3 riders were scratched, and therefore that gave Ellen, who was on deck, an opening to run Orange Bullet. She went 53.97 miles an hour, but just not legal. 347. And then the next heat, we had Adam coming through the traps at 59.80, but not legal.